Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the utter and sheer stupidity of the mainstream media clowns when it comes to the North Korea negotiations. Now, actually, that's not what this is called. This is another teachable moment. The North Korean summit and the North Korean negotiations just is a treasure trove of lessons that can be learned in teachable moments if you're in the business world and you need to negotiate a deal, particularly a high stakes deal. If you want to learn how it's done, even though we don't know all of the background and all of the insider baseball that the negotiators do in the North Korean deal, we know enough by watching from the outside. Now, of course, if you're a media circus clown, you think you know. And the latest teachable moment and the latest lesson that I want to talk to you about is in the last couple of days, Pompeo went over to North Korea, and unlike the last time that he went, he came back with hostages. They were hoping this time he'd come back with, the remains of soldiers from the Korean conflict, or some big grand sweeping revelation of how successful he was or whatever. And his feet were hardly on the ground when the North Korean state media put out a statement somewhere to the effect of this was like disappointing, or wasn't that good, or we're not that optimistic, or I don't know, some damn thing. And the other thing that they're doing lately is they put out some statements that's to the effect of, well, we might not denuclearize all the way. We might, maybe do some of it, but not all of it. Okay, remember in the summit, Kim Jong-un signed a statement or some sort of an agreement that he was committed to it. Now they're saying, well, maybe they're not. Well, now, I don't know if you remember this. A couple of episodes back, maybe a month ago, before the summit, I said that North Korea was not yet done testing Donald Trump. And I said they're still going to, they've tested him a lot, and they found he's not to be trifled with, but they're not done yet. And I predicted, incorrectly as it turned out, unlike the media circus clowns, I actually admit when I do something, my prediction is wrong. But I predicted that Kim Jong-un would walk out of the negotiations as a way to test Trump, and which case Trump would react either one way or the other. Well, I was wrong about that, but I wasn't wrong about them testing him again. So now they're testing him again. He came back from the summit. His base is all fired up. He's looking good going into the midterms. Because of this, there's a lot of talk about him being the next Nobel Prize winner and all that kind of stuff. And Kim Jong-un is thinking, oh yeah, so he needs this for the midterms. And so he probably needs it more than I need food and more than I need sanction relief and all that. And he's wrong about that, by the way. He's dead wrong. And that's why the North Korean media, state media, put out that statement about we're not quite sure we're going to do it. That's why they didn't give Pompeo anything to come back with. And it's all part of the testing process of Donald J. Trump, which is fine. And so then the media clowns predicted, oh, God almighty, Trump is going to be furious about this. He's just going to be madder than a hornet, and he's going to react fiercely with a tweet. And boy, he's just going to go ballistic over that. I will predict that he will not go ballistic at all, because he's probably, being the master negotiator that he is, and so am I, by the way, he's probably sitting back there right now going, yep, I expected this. Thought it might have been a little earlier. Thought it might be a little bit later, but I was expecting another test of my resolve. And so what Trump should do now is he should tighten those sanctions even further. And he should send a message to Kim Jong-un that says, you better get control of your state media, because these kind of statements are only going to make it harder on you. And I would definitely, if I was Trump, further and firmer up my resolve now that they've tested him again. So the lesson to you is the other side is always going to be testing, if they're any good. If they aren't any good, that's fine. I mean, that makes it easier. But if they're any good, they're going to be testing you right until the end. And you will see, by the way, just when you think the negotiations are done and you're satisfied and you guys are ready to ink the deal, if the other side's any good, they'll ask for one last concession. And that's what North Korea will do. So when you're negotiating, you always want to remember to keep something in your back pocket that you can give them that they think is big, but to you it's not that big. But keep something in your back pocket to make them think they really squeezed that one last concession from you. And it makes them feel better about the negotiation, which is always a good thing. So that's my advice today about high stakes strategic negotiations. And keep watching the North Korea situation, and keep listening to my blog posts and media posts, and we'll keep examining this.